Today on Big Bore Air Guns, we're going to do an unboxing and setup of the AEA Challenger Standard. This one's a .357 caliber rifle. After we're done setting it up, we're going to go ahead and fill it full of air, bring it out to the range, and we're going to take some shots just for you guys today. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's open up this box so you can see what you're going to get when you buy an AEA Challenger air rifle. You can see it comes very well packaged. First thing you're going to see here is you got your nice wood stock and you've got your main body of your rifle. Let's go ahead and pull the main body of the rifle up out of there so we can get a good look at it. There you go. Wow, that is really nice looking. It's got an integrated suppressor here at the end of the barrel right there. There's actually some baffles in there. You can take that apart and look at that yourself. There's obviously no plastic on this anywhere. This is a very well built, solid rifle. That looks really nice. Let's go ahead and set that down real quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull our stock up out of here. It can be a little bit difficult. These are pretty well form-fitted in there. There you go. Go ahead and hold that up for you. Look how nice that stock is. Very well built. Underneath the stock here, you see a bag. Inside of that is going to be your safety screw and your main attachment bolt. The little screw that's in there actually goes right here in this screw hole right here on your safety lever that comes down out of the action, but you don't put that in until you've got this all the way down inside the wood stock. Go on here to the next bag that you're going to find in your box. You're going to have a bag with a fill probe, and this is your cocking knob. You're going to thread that right onto the end of the bolt here on the action. We'll do that just in a moment. Another thing that you're going to find inside the box are 2 magazines. And I'll be honest with you, these can be a little bit difficult to get out of here. Sometimes you'll have to go up underneath them and kind of push them up. There you go. Now these are really nice magazines. I can feel that. That's made out of aluminum, not plastic up here. Definitely a nice magazine. It looks like it comes with 2 magazines. And that's nice because that'll give you the ability to fire 16 rounds without having to reload any kind of clip. Let's go ahead and set that back down. Okay, so now that we've looked at all the parts, let's go ahead and start setting up our rifle. First thing we're going to want to do is set that down inside the case somewhere where it's going to hold it upright. Try to get it in the center of the shot for you there. Let's grab the action up out of the box here. There you go. Now carefully set that action down inside the stock. You might have to work it down in there just a little bit to get it to sit. There we go. Next I'll just give it a quick little tap. Just to set it down in there, flip the rifle upside down. And now we're going to go ahead and pull the larger bolt out of our bag. That's going to be the one that actually holds the rifle to the stock. And we're going to drop that right down inside the hole. Now to tighten this down, we're going to need a number 6 Allen wrench. Let's go ahead and get that down in there. It's really crucial, folks, to not tighten it with the long ways. Go ahead and tighten it short handle on the Allen wrench and just get it snug just like that. Now all we have to do to get our Challenger rifle ready to go is go over and pull the other little screw that you see in that bag out. And that is going to thread into this hole right here on your safety lever. You get that up towards the camera there. Maybe you can see this hole in the safety lever. If you're left-handed, you're going to want to put it in the other side. If you're right-handed, you're going to want to put it in the right side. Just stick that down in the hole and twist that little knob in there. And what that does is gives you a place where you can get your finger onto the safety. The next part of this is go ahead and pull the cocking knob out of the fill probe bag. Don't drop any of your O-rings in there. Those O-rings aren't for the rifle, folks. Those are actually for the fill probe because it goes in and out a bunch. You're going to need to be able to replace that every now and then. We have our cocking knob there. Just a nice little cocking knob. There's some threads here on the end of the bolt. Go ahead and just sit that on there and get that started. Thread that down until it stops. And there we are. Our AEA Challenger is now ready to go. All you have to do is fill this up with air, put some ammo in the clip, and bring this out to the field and have some fun shooting it. Let's go ahead and do that ourselves. Alright guys, we're out in the field with the AEA Challenger 357. We've got the Pro Chrono chronograph set up right here, ready to go. We've got targets downrange. For today's test, we're going to be firing homemade 95 grain leads that I pour from the Lee mold. Does a really nice job producing a quality lead. Alright, so let's go ahead and get set up. We'll take some shots through the chronograph just to give you kind of an idea of what kind of power and velocities the rifle is able to produce. Then we'll take some shots at 50 yards and then we're going to extend this out to 100 yards just to show you what it can do. Alright guys, here we go. Let's go ahead and cock back the bolt. We're going to load up one of these clips ready to go. And now we're ready. Let's take some shots through the chronograph to start out with here just to see what kind of velocities and power the rifle's capable of producing. Here we go, shot number 1. 924 feet per second with a 95 grain lead. That's pretty good. Here we go, shot number 2. 968 feet per second. Alright, so let's go ahead and fire shot number 3 through this. I can see where this thing's hitting down there, and it is surgical. 973 feet per second. Here we go, shot number 4. 953 feet per second. That was shot number 5 at 933 feet per second. Here goes shot number 6. 910. Shot number 7. 876. And here's our final shot, shot number 8. Alright, 863 feet per second. You can see the 2 deer silhouette targets over on the right side there of the coyote. The one on the left side has a 2x4 up in front of the kill plate. We're going to take our first shot at that 2x4 just to show you that it has plenty of power to go through a 2x4 out here at 50 yards. Then we're going to move on to 100 yards with a penetration test. So here we go. Shot number 1 out at 50 yards. We're going to take it at that 2x4. I've got a camera down there on the 2x4 so you should be able to see this. Here we go. Looks like we got a good hit on it. Alright guys, so just to show you in the camera here, hopefully you can see this. There's our entrance hole, and there is the exit hole. Through that 2x4 at 50 yards, definitely goes all the way through. Okay guys, so we just did a penetration test out at 50 yards, and right now what we're going to do is shoot all the way out here at 100 yards. You can see that 2x4 right in front of the kill zone of that deer silhouette. I have a camera down there on the target. We're going to go ahead and take a couple rounds on that, see how well we can do, see what kind of penetration this rifle has out there at 100 yards. So here we go. Shot number 1, guys. Alright guys, let's take a look at this. We're in the sunlight here. Maybe you can see that. We've got another hole right here. This was our first shot. I had to cross through it. There's our second shot right here. If we go to the back, you can see where the wood splintered. So at 100 yards, we're still penetrating through a 2x4. We absolutely hit the 2x4. It went right through it. Hopefully on the camera, you could actually hear the impact on the metal plate on the other side of it. That is a lot of power out at 100 yards. If you can still go through a 2x4, I consider that to be hog lethal, and anything less than hog size, it's definitely going to put them down out at 100 yards. Let's go ahead and finish off the day taking those rounds down there at the 100-yard target, see if we can put a few more onto that 2x4 and a few into that kill plate just behind it on the deer target. Here we go. Shot number 2 on that 2x4 at 100 yards. Alright, here we go, shot number 3. Hitting something pretty solid. Shot number 4. Here we go, shot number 5. Okay guys, we're walking up on the target. Probably here in the other camera, you can see we put most of those rounds right here. You can see one dropped a little low. I've got one clipper right down the edge right here. Let's go ahead and turn this thing around. Oh yeah, look at that. They all go through the 2x4. In fact, I've got one jammed up into the plywood after going through the aluminum right there, but it looks like all the rest of them actually kept going and went through the plywood and the aluminum here. That is a lot of penetration from a .357 caliber air rifle You see that down here as well. If you're still penetrating a 2x4 at 100 yards, and you're able to still go through a piece of aluminum and a piece of plywood out here, that is a lot of power. That is a great hunting rifle, and obviously, even at 100 yards, I'm putting down some pretty tight little groupings. We got these two down here that kind of dropped off. That was probably after we went over the power curve. These four here are probably right there in that top of that power curve area. That is a great set of shots. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, this was Big Bore Air Guns.